Hello dear Cut and Sew Tribe, welcome to Cut and Sew Tribe YouTube channel. Thank you guys for your support. I want to appreciate all our returning subscriber. Thank you for always stopping by. If today is your first time of checking on this channel, you are highly welcome. So do well to subscribe to this channel for free tutorials, and don't forget to turn on the bell notification so that you'll be notified anytime I upload new tutorial. So as you can see, today we have beautiful project to work on. So we're going to work on how to recreate this beautiful blouse with Peter Pan collar. So I have with me these materials to work with. So these are the required material you're going to work with. So you're going to need this Peter Pan ready-made collar. So we have it in different sizes and color and shape. So this is what I'll be working with. So you will need this for this project. I have my zipper, my matching zipper, and I'll be using this at the rear fabric. I have about 4 years there. So I have my taffeta. I have about 2 years of taffeta, and that's what I'm going to use for my lining. So, and the shiny face for the sleeve. So I have all my pattern tools ready, and on my pattern paper, as you can see, I've drawn out all my vertical measurements. So, and I've gone ahead to divide the paper into two, one side for the center front and the other side for the center back. So if you don't know how to go about it, I have detailed tutorial on my channel, so do well to check it so that you can understand it in detail. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will still take us through it. So I'm just going ahead to label all my vertical lines. The first line is going to be my bust line, the second line my bust point, the third line is going to be my under bust, the fourth one is going to be my waistline, and the last one is going to be my blouse length. So I'll go ahead now and input my shoulder measurement. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 into 2 is going to give me 8, and I'm going to bring the 8 down to the chest line just like I am doing. So you're going to do the same thing for both the front and the back. You will go ahead and connect the 2 points together like so that you can get your armhole depth line. So this is what we have. Now the next thing you need to do before you measure your neckline on your pattern paper is to measure the circumference of your cape. It is very important so that your work can be accurate. So I have on that cape, the collar, I have 16 inches. So because of that, I've decided to use 2.5 inches for the width of my neckline instead of 3 inches. But for the depth, I use 3 inches. So that means my neckline for the front is 2.5 by 3. Do you get it now? So I'm still going to cross check it as time goes on before we cut it out. And as you can see, I've drawn out my shoulder slope. So you are going to use 2.5 inches for the back neck line as well, the width, and the depth I used 1 inch, and I will draw out my shoulder slope as well. So I'll just go ahead and connect it to the neck tip like I am doing. All right, so now the next thing to do on this pattern is to input my bust circumference. So your bust circumference, whatever it is, divide it into 4. So whatever you have is what you are going to put down for both the front and back. The bust I'm working with is 43, and that's what I've measured. So from my chest line for the front, I went up by 3 inches and I went in again by 0.5 to just get my armhole shape, just like I am doing. So go ahead and connect it together like so. Can you see it? So for the back, you're going to measure whatever you have left on your arm hole depth and divide it to 2 equal halves. And on that point, you are going to mark 0.5 inch. Can you see it? Just draw your line like so, and you are going to connect it to where your bust measurement ends. Can you see it? So our upper part is ready, and I'll just proceed straight to, I'm going to draw out our dart line. Can you see? So you're going to use your nipple to nipple measurement, your bust span, to draw your dart line. So in my own case, my nipple to nipple is 8 inches, 8 into 2. I have 4 inches, and that's what I have drawn out. So now on your waistline, you're going to take your dart intake. So the dart intake I used there is 0.75 on both sides, and that is I have total of 1.5 inches for my dart intake for the front. So you go ahead and connect it like so to the bust point. Can you see it? Now for the dart end, for you to get the dart end for this blouse, so from your shoulder tip, measure 22 inches, and that's what I've measured. And you are going to close up your dart on that 22 inches, just the way I am doing. So our dart is ready for the front. So I'll proceed now to measure my bust dart. So for you to get your bust dart, you're going to use the difference between your front length and your back length. Can you see it? In my own case, it is 2 inches, and I connected it to the bust point. So for the circumference, for the hem of my blouse, it is 46 into 4 will give us 11.5. But I decided to add ease of half inch to the hem. This is optional. So I added ease of half inch to the hem of my blouse, just to make it a little bit freer there. So that makes my 12 inches. So I'll do the same thing for the back. I will measure my dart line like so. Can you see it? I'm going to draw a straight line down. So on the waistline, I'm going to take my dart intake of 0.5 on both sides. For the back, I use 0.5 on both sides, and that's going to give us total of 1 inch for the dart intake. And I'm going to connect it to the bust point, just like I am doing. Can you see it? So connect it, and we're going to connect it all the way to the hem of your blouse. So just connect it like so, and our dart is ready for the back as well. So this is it. The next thing we're going to do now is to tighten our back block. So from the center back on the waistline, I went in by 0.5 just to contour that place. It is very important you do so for your zipper to relax very well. So can you see the way I am connecting the line? So and our back block is also ready. The last thing we're going to do there is to measure the circumference of our back block. Don't forget I added ease of 0.5 to my hem, to the hem only, just to the hem of my blouse only. Now, like I said I'm going to reconfirm the measurement of the neck, and that is what I am doing. You want to make sure the neck is not bigger than your collar. It is very, very important. My collar is 16, and here I have 8 inches. So it is accurate. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to do my underbust contouring. Now this is the way I used to do it on this channel. You're going to measure whatever you have on your underbust line. Measure it. So on that your underbust line, you are going to measure your underbust circumference divided by 4. And of course, you are going to have some excess. You are going to have left over. So whatever you have left by the side, you are going to take it away from the center. Now this is what you're going to do from the last, that line, that point that I pointed to. You are going to, you go in by 0.5. Can you see it? And on that 0.5, you are going to take away the total amount of space you have left by the side. I hope you get it. So, but if you are very familiar with this channel, this is how we used to contour the underbust, and it gives us accurate, perfect underbust tightening. So now you're going to use the shape, the curve like I've done, and you're going to connect it down to the hem. So we have our underbust already contoured. Make sure you blend in all the sharp points. So the next thing I'm doing now is to measure my shoulder divided into 2. Now here I use shoulder princess dart. So if you like, you can just decide to use armhole princess dart, but for this tutorial I decided to use shoulder princess dart. So now after drawing the shoulder princess dart, I'll go ahead now and tighten the over bust. So I'm going to do that by taking away 0.5 on both sides of my bust line like so, and I will draw this line slantly like this. Can you see it? So like this, I am tightening the over bust so that our over bust can relax very well. So this is what we have. That part I'm going to cut it out when the time comes. All right, so this pattern is taking shape gradually. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the side, the center line like so, so that I'll be able to close my bust dart. So open up the waistline like this. So just open it up and you go ahead to close your bust dart. Now you can go ahead and cut out all the dart intake. We don't need it again on this pattern, and that is what I'm doing right away. All right, this is it. We have our front pieces ready. So I'll go ahead and cut out the back block as well. All right, our pattern pieces, they are all ready now for both the front and the back. So before I transfer on the fabric, the next thing I'm going to do on this pattern is to shape the hem of this blouse. It is very important. So on the side of your pattern, you can just go up by at least 1 inch, but in my own case I went up by 1.5 inches like so, and you are going to curve it out. So can you see it? I'm using my free hand just to achieve the shape. So, and I'll just go ahead and cut. Without this shape at the hem, your blouse is not going to bring out the curvy shape on the hem. So this is what we have for our pattern. I'll just go ahead now and transfer my pattern to the fabric. I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So this is it. I have transferred my pattern to the fabric. Make sure you had all the necessary allowance. Now can you see it? My lining is shorter by 0.5 inch, shorter by 0.5 inch than the main fabric. So make sure your lining is not as long as the main fabric. So as you can see, I have ironed the interfacing. I use very light interfacing on my fabric and the lining for the front. So the next thing I'll do now is to go and join the 3 pieces together using my seam allowance. So I'm going to do the same thing on the lining for the front. So I'll be using 1/2 inch to join the pieces together. And for the back, can you see it? I did not add interfacing to the lining of the back, so it is optional. If you like, you can add. So I'll go ahead and turn the back as well. I'm going to turn the back with the lining. I'll iron it down and I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So this is what we have. Can you see it? I've joined my front pieces together, and can you see our underbust tightening effect on the blouse? So this is what you should have for your lining as well. So for the back block, I've turned it like this. Can you see it? I've ironed it down as well. So the next thing we're going to do now is this. I need to show you this part so that you know how to go about it. That is the way I sew down the back as well. So the first part you're going to sew is the hem. So after sewing the hem, you try and pull it up, your lining up to the neckline. You know the lining is shorter by 0.5, and you're going to turn the neckline as well. So I'm going to leave the side open because I'm still going to attach the bra cup to this front part. So let me go and do that. I've done it, and this is what we have. I've turned my neckline and I've ironed it down. Can you see how neat and beautiful it is? So this is what you should have. Can you see the hem? That the fabric is longer than the lining. All right, so the next thing we're going to do now is to attach our bra cup, though this is optional. If you are not using bra cup, you can use your wadding for the bust padding. Now this is how you're going to place your cup. Can you see it? Right side of your cup, the inside is going to face the lining. I hope you can see the placement sha. So I'm trying to explain because so many people don't know how to place this cup. You have to place it rightly so that the shape of your cup can come out. So after placing it correctly, make sure you tack it. I'm just going to tack it down, the two edges and the down part. So I'm going to do that for both sides, and I'll turn the side of my blouse. So let me do that and I will show you the next thing to do. So this is what we have. Can you see it? Can you see how our cup area is coming out now because of the bra cup? And I've gone ahead to join the shoulder, everything. So the next thing we're going to do now before I fix my collar is to get the midpoint of my neckline. So to get to your midpoint, make sure you bring your two shoulders together and you mark that part, because you cannot notch it. You know, we have turned the neckline. So can you see it? And I'm going to place our collar on it. So you need to get the midpoint of the collar as well. It is very important you get the center for both the neck and the collar so that your collar can sit properly on the neckline. Do not notch that part, is very important. You can just use your chalk to mark it like I am doing. Can you see it? Now to place your collar, you are going to place the collar on the fabric. Can you see the way I'm placing it? The collar is going to stay on the fabric. You know, the collar is the one that will be showing outside. That is why we are placing the collar on the fabric. So you make sure they overlap by at most 0.25. It should not be more than 0.25 if you don't want your collar to choke your neck. Can you see? So I'm placing it on the fabric by 0.25, and you can just go ahead and pin it down. So I need to cross check again if my collar is accurate with the neckline. So I have it properly placed, and I'll just go ahead and sew it down. So make sure you pin it down before sewing, because you don't want it to be removing when you are sewing. So can you see it? Let me bring the camera very close so that you can see it. So can you see it? Can you see it? So this is it. This is what you want to do. Place it to the fabric and you make sure you sew it around. So when you are sewing, make sure you check it under so that the fabric will not remove. Do you get my points now? And I've just sew it across. So our collar is ready, and this is what you have. I'll just go ahead and cut out the thread on the neckline. So this is what we have. The next thing we're going to do now is, so this is what we have. This is what you should have at the end of the day. Can you see it? So the next thing I'll do now is to go ahead and fix my zipper. You want to finish up your zipper at the back, I'll do that. So before going to the sewing machine, let me quickly show us. So I fixed my zipper, and this is what we have. Can you see it? So the next thing we're going to do is to shape our blouse. I'm going to use my own accurate body measurements. I'll shape it out. But before that, let me quickly show you how to achieve the sleeve. The sleeve part is actually very simple. I use 360-degree flare for the sleeve. So for the longer part, I use 13 inches. It is optional. If you don't want yours to be as long as this, you can use your desired measurement. So I am using 13 inches for the longer part, and that is what I am folding. And to get the radius of your circle, you are going to use your armhole circumference. Whatever your armhole circumference is, you can add like say 4 inches to it. So that 4 inches is going to give you the liberty to pleat, to have excess and pleat on your sleeve. Do you get my points now? So in my own case, I added 3 inches to my armhole circumference, and that is what I used to get my radius. And I went ahead to get the length, which is 13 inches like I said. So for the length of the second one, for the shorter part, I used 10 inches. So the difference between the two sleeves is 3 inches. So like that, and this is what I have. I'll just go ahead and cut my sleeve. So I will do the same thing for the main fabric. I told you I'll be using 10 inches for the length, so I'll cut it two for the plain fabric and two for the red fabric. Do you get it now? So if you look at the picture on the thumbnail very well, the hem of the sleeve, there is crilloni there, but for this sleeve I will not be using crilloni. So if you want, you can go ahead and do. I'll just hem the hem of my sleeve, I'll sew it, and I'll display it on the mannequin. All right, this is the final outlook of our beautiful blouse. Can you see how beautiful it is? So if you find this tutorial helpful, kindly give us thumbs up. Feel free to share with fellow soap tribe, and please, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel for more interesting tutorial. Can you see how neat our collar is and the sleeve? So you can share with us on the Facebook group Cut and Sew Tribe if you recreate your own. All right, keep practicing. I'll see you in the next class. Bye.